Welcome to The Bold Book of the Day with Dr. Denise Nicholson, a show that is a central hub and safe space for authors to share their stories. The Bold Book with Dr. Denise begins now.
My name is Dr. Denise Nicholson, and this podcast is for anyone looking for inspiration. Today's guest is none other than Lindsay Mattes, the author of Don't Be a Dick. Welcome, Lindsay.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't wait for this moment. Right, you know how we've been working towards this moment for a while.
This has been quite a journey that we've been on.
Absolutely.
And wonderful.
Yes, and this journey is about Lindsay Mattes writing her book. Tell me, Lindsay, the topic, the name, the title, why did you choose that title?
Well, because everybody expects your HR manager to say, "Don't be a dick," don't you? Actually, no, it really just was momentary when my mouth got ahead of my brain, and sure enough, it came out and it worked. People listened to me. It kind of eased the tension and opened up doors to chit-chat, and so I figured, let's do it. Let's be honest and upfront and see where real talk gets us.
Yes. So let's tell the audience a little bit about who you are and why you wrote this book.
Okay. Lindsay Mattes, I'm an author and a speaker, and I have been in HR for 25 years. And I've done all of it. And over the last 25 years, I've gotten the opportunity to know so many incredible people, we really get to know the best and the hardest parts of people's lives. And it's been my dream.
Yes.
Being a part of people's lives, even when it's hard, was the best job I could ask for.
Beautiful. So what is the most important message that is in this book that you want your audience to take away?
It's actually, be kind. Kindness is where we need to go as a society. You know, we have written laws, we have made regulations, we have trainings, but we're still struggling. And so I think we just need to take a step back.
Yes.
And try kind.
Wonderful. Trying to be kind. Do you think that is a hard thing in the workplace nowadays?
You know what? I think it can be. Yeah, I think it can be. It's not always hard. But when you're faced with something you don't understand or someone who has a different idea than you, it can be really hard.
I've heard you said that being nice isn't being kind. What do you mean by that?
Great question. Actually, nice can be kind, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are, because nice can be a formality. It can often be a face that you put on that's not genuine. I'm being nice because I hate your shoes, but I don't want to say anything. So those are lovely. That's nice. But it's not necessarily kind. So that's the distinction that I feel like. Kind is authentic from the heart. Nice is easy. Nice is easy. Kind can be hard.
But don't we want to be nice in the workplace? Isn't that the thing to strive for?
Well, I mean, nice can be great. But if you're not sharing authentically the truth, it's not nice, even if you think you're being nice. One of the examples I say in the book is about performance reviews. So often, managers will put great, meeting expectations, everything's good, because they want to be nice. And then 3 weeks later, they want to terminate the employee because they're not doing a good job. They aren't meeting expectations, but they were trying to be nice. They did not want to impact their 3% increase, right? Okay, well, 3% increase doesn't do you any good if you don't have a job.
Okay, so as a leader in the workplace, we have to strive at being kind and giving the information that we need, even though it may upset the employee?
Yes, absolutely. And it's not going to be easy. Difficult conversations are difficult regardless. But as I've learned, through many, unfortunately, terminations and layoffs, also part of the HR world, you can do it with respect. And the respect starts with kindness. If you're being nice, you're probably just trying to avoid a hard conversation. You have to be kind and you have to be respectful, because that is one of the worst moments in someone's life. You've just taken away their insurance and their money and their everything.
Yeah, when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not a great job. It's not one you want to have.
Yes.
But it's the reality of the workplace. And so you have to do it with dignity and respect. Treat others as you would like to be treated.
Right. So as leaders in the workplace, how do we balance our duty and also be kind, and to make sure that we have a workspace that is safe? You know what I'm talking about, because you want to be kind, you want to be nice, but you also want to give the information to make the person develop. So how do we as leaders do that and keep the workplace safe so people are not angry walking around thinking, she just told me I need to do this or change this or be here on time or be here early or whatever it is that we need to get to the, to make the workplace run efficiently. How do we do that as leaders?
Practice. It takes a lot of practice. But again, if you start with this consensus or the idea that we're all human and mistakes are going to be made. I think one of the biggest things that when you're giving difficult feedback or when you're trying to guide an employee back onto the road that they've gotten off, you have to be respectful, but you have to include them in the conversation.
Yes.
Most employees don't want to be doing it wrong. Yes. They're walking around angry already. So your responsibility as a leader is to bring them into the conversation. Ask, how can I do better for you? What what tools do you need that we can possibly provide to help you be more successful? And sometimes that's the opportunity to look for something different.
How did you get into this position of being, this kind HR personnel?
Because I hated HR people. it's a terrible thing to say. I know, right? No, when I started in HR, there was no school, there was no learning. It was just a job you fell into. And it was a very procedure-minded, which was reasonable because they were trying to find equality. They were trying to treat everyone the same. But it doesn't work that way because we're not all the same.
That's right.
We are individuals. And we have similarities and we have things that we all have to meet the same expectations. But how we do it is going to be different. So I wanted to be different. And it's in my nature to be kind. I love people. I love everyone. You've been with me for 5 minutes. We are best friends forever. Don't you worry.
Now, in the workspace now more than ever, it's more diverse. How can you be honest with your coworker and be kind? Let's say someone have a high smell and you want to talk to them about it, but you don't want to be mean. You just want to make sure that everyone else not that you want to shame them, but you want to give them the idea that we're getting, a smell when you come around. How do we do that in a workspace that is diverse and you don't want to offend people because of culture or whatever? How do you do that?
Did you just ask me the hardest question? No, I've had to have those conversations, and it can be difficult. But again, it's forthright and honest. Don't be embarrassed by what you're saying, but don't be mean about it.
Okay.
Dude, you smell bad.
Okay.
Probably
don't make
not
a
gonna
joke
go
of
over
it.
well.
Like, should we,
Well,
don't make a joke of it.
It would depend on the relationship, but no, overall, when it comes to that, I wouldn't make a joke of it. I would just be like, we want to follow up, but we've had some concerns about your feet.
Okay.
It's important for you to keep your shoes on, and because it's a big space, and it's important that it's comfortable. And we've noticed that not always great if you don't have your shoes on.
Okay.
Which I had someone say, well, everyone else takes their shoes off. To which I then said, not if they have stinky feet.
Okay. So we just have to say the truth,
Say the truth.
but with a little sugar in it.
Spoonful of sugar. Mary Poppins got it right.
Okay, she did get it right. Okay. All right. So, given that we also live in a diverse world and everyone have different way of managing their feelings, how do you know in the workplace if it's the right place to be nice or kind? Like, you don't know if you're being nice or kind. So how do you know, should I just be quiet in this workspace, or should I even try to make friends? Or how do you know?
You don't until you ask. Sometimes you do, right? You know if you're being kind. But sometimes you might accidentally do something or say something that hurts someone's feelings that you didn't even know. You're like, oh, sorry. Ask. Apologize if you did it wrong. And try better the next time.
I know you've written a beautiful book, a well-researched book, and I believe that your book is one of the ways to open the conversations in organizations, because I've read your book. And I said all of that, all of the questions I asked, just to say that here is a tool that organizations can bring into their space to say, start with this, and then we'll bring in Lindsay Mattes to do some kind of education about and around being nice, being kind, and not being a jerk or a dick.
You got to say it. Go all in.
You got to go all in.
Thank you. That's my hope, is that, again, with the sort of tongue-in-cheek, don't be a dick, the intent is to sort of come in at it with a happier tone. Let's talk real. Let's not get too formal. Let's stop being politically correct, because that's not a thing anyway.
Right.
So I hope that is how it is received. Because that's all I want, is to see our workplaces kinder, because I truly believe a kinder workplace makes a kinder world.
I absolutely believe that. Thank you so much for sharing and for really writing this book, doing the proper research to help us, in our workspace, to be a better person, to be a place where our workplace can feel like a safe space, because we do spend a lot of time at work. So thank you so much for thinking about and writing this book and doing such a great job. But before you go, there are 3 questions I always ask all of my guests, and I'd like to ask you these questions too. So, number 1 is, what's a bold statement that you'd like to make that can shift the audience's paradigm?
Aside from the title of the book.
Just don't be a dick.
Everyone can be kind.
Yes. Period. You got it. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so what is a bold move that you'd like to make in the future? I mean, you've done it all.
No, I would love to be in front of millions of people, sharing this, seeing the world become kinder.
Yes.
I think it's the only thing we can do.
Well, this is a global community. This is a podcast. And so I hope that this podcast reaches all across the globe, so that message that has been burning inside of you that you wanted to share to help this world become a better place, that it gets to the corners of the earth that it should be. Yes, so thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more question.
One more.
Okay, so a bold statement, a bold move, and what is a bold recommendation that you make? For anyone that would like to change their lives, what's a bold recommendation that you could make?
I think the boldest recommendation that you can make is to be true to yourself.
And that will change your life?
It does. It has to. And to quote myself, don't be a dick to yourself.
Oh, wow.
Give yourself some grace. Give yourself permission to be wrong and to do it wrong.
Yeah.
And then be better.
Yeah.
But don't treat yourself badly.
See, I didn't even think of that. You know, I always tell people to give themselves grace, but I never thought of don't be a dick to yourself.
Yeah.
I thought like, okay, this is entirely, exclusively for the workforce. I like that.
Thank you.
Don't be a dick to yourself either.
Nope.
Thank you so much, Lindsay.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. And so if you would like to write your book and publish it, send me an email at authordnicholson@gmail.com, where I can help you get your book idea out of your head and onto paper so that you can make some money, honey.
That's
Bye-bye.
right.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you for joining us for the Bold Book of the Day with Dr. Denise Nicholson, a central hub and a safe space for authors to share their stories. Follow Dr. Denise on Facebook and Instagram at Denise Nicholson, or go to denisenicholson.com. Remember, no one can share your story better than you.